French fries is better. Black power every second of the motherfucker hour. I was clean with it.
Yes, okay. When you hear reparations, what comes to mind?
I feel money owed.
Money owed? Point blank,
To
yes.
someone,
Absolutely.
Compensation for wrong done, or something, make it right.
Sort of like restitution.
Yeah, restitution.
Absolutely. Anyone else? When you hear reparations, what comes to mind?
Me? Money.
Okay.
There we go.
Cut
That
the
part.
check. There you go. That's all I like young people to get straight to the point. Cut the check. That's right. So when it comes to the history of what this country was built on, it was built on slave labor, and there was no amends for it. So how many of us heard of House Resolution 194, HR 194?
Me?
I know you have.
Therefore,
Yes, so House Resolution 194 was the apology in 2008 that the United States government did for chattel slavery. We're going to pull that up so you can actually see the verbiage on it. It's 17 lines of exact trauma starting from enslavement in 1619 to the end of slavery in 1865. It was a beautiful apology. Thank you for the apology. But what behind that apology was what? What was missing?
money,
Thank you. Was the
land,
amends for
land
it.
and money.
So that was written in 2008. 2003, 2008 was refined. Now that we're in 2025, we don't need for them to apologize any longer, but we have a federal bill that is there that can't be removed, that will tell you per se why reparations is owed to us. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's why it's very important, family, that we become politically inclined. Not to be politicians, but to be politically inclined. So after today, one of the action points is to research and read HR 194, House Resolution 194. All right, now, as you see here, this was actually, the person that recorded that was me. So we were there. I do housing, homeless, and engagement in Los Angeles for the last decade. And we had about 1,500 families that day that were supposed to get a housing voucher. And Congresswoman came out. She was part of the financial committee and was supposed to give at least 2,500 vouchers for those families, none of which happened. And so this is a result of what politics does to us. When we keep voting the Democratic dungeon into well-likes, who affects is our people, it's our children, it's our communities, right? I have nothing against do-nothing Democrats, but after a while something has to make sense, family. It's not about Democrats and Republicans, it is what your taxes going to reflect on at the end of the day. And that's what we want to see this year. So I'm grateful to CJAC, California for Just, Coalition for Just and Equitable California, is a very important organization. If you have not become a member yet, please do so. Sign up on cjacofficial.org and become a member. Why? Because we're in the trenches, family, in real time. And what we're going to share with you, the updates of AB 1315, which is the Freedmen's Bureau agency, where that is, since it's just been introduced, and what can you do to be involved with the next action plans. So grateful for you guys be here today. California Reparations Shop Talk with our host, Reginald Romaine, also known as Double R in the car.
All right, first of all, man, I thank every single one of you who made this event. This is very important for us as this reparations marathon is continuing, and it has been a long journey. You guys know August 31st, we were there. How you doing, my man? Come on and sit down. We were there August 31st when they dropped the ball on us. The COBC blocked us, you know what I mean? But first of all, before we go into that, I would like a moment of silence for Brother Reggie, Raider Reg, who was here at the last one. He passed away in January. Just a moment of silence for my brother. Now, this is establishment you guys in right now is the first black shop here in Temecula.
All right.
Yes. This is the cornerstone. I got it in 1997, but it was here 6 years before me, and a lot of shops came from here, opened up from coming through here, and that's what I did. I gave jobs, and I told them, go and get your own. You know, be like me. You know what I'm saying? And so therefore, I think we had probably about 10 of them that opened from this spot right here. So this is the cornerstone, praise God. You know, I'm still open, and I appreciate all you guys that know me, and I know y'all heads, the back of y'all heads, and your little kids here. I done seen 4 generations up in here. 4 generations up in here. Praise God. I got kids who got kids who got kids. You know what I'm saying? So they grown now, so I praise God for that. Let's see, another thing. Oh yes, CJ, Coalition for a Just and Equitable California. This is what we have. This is the shirt we have on right here. Cut the CJ, cut the check. But I ran into Chris at my first meeting in Oakland. When I found out about reparations and they was having meetings, I was like, what? We was just talking about here in the shop with Mr. Paul, who was here earlier, is from Chicago. They was talking we was talking about Evanston. Evanston doing their thing, and that is not even reparations, that's a raffle. That ain't nothing but a raffle. What they did was put some names and put them in a hat, and from the weed money that they was making, they gave out $25,000 if you was a business owner, and either to fix your home or to pay whatever. You know about that, right?
You told me about it.
Yeah. Which was it was a ripoff. So when I heard about the reparations here, the task force here in California, me and my man Donnie Brown, I went to school with Verde High School. We went up to Oakland. We went up to Oakland. I saw some of these CJ faces right here, and I was just like amazed on the power and the no fear at all on how they was getting at these task force members, because we was putting our 2 cents in. Born in 1966. My question is this: where did you guys come up with these years? And you stop at 77. We going through traumatic racism today. We getting these on our neck today. So why you stop at 77? In 84, we got news about Oliver North and about the Contras. I personally bought dope from Freeway Rick. I did my time to society. In 84, we had mass incarceration, red line and everything still in. Why would you cut it off at 77? We need it to today. And another thing is what about our ancestors, my mama, my grandma, my brother, that's not here no more? Where their money gonna go? Is they gonna get the same reparations too? You know, we need these questions answered, because a lot of people, I have a salon, I've been in business for 25 years. My thing is at this, at 420, 1 year, which is Hitler Day, in Temecula, California. I moved away from LA. My business was vandalized from KKK members' initiation day. A police person that I cut his hair when he was little told me, he said, you know what today is? Today is Hitler initiation day. They hit 2 black businesses then. So I said, we still going through stuff now. So why are you gonna cut off at 77? I don't understand. I thank y'all for hearing my words, and Black people power to it.
Thank you.
Oh, well, come back tomorrow. Ain't no tomorrow for me, so I'm getting up in here. So as I kept going, when the first time I went, Chris, my second day, it was a 2-day event. The second day when I was leaving, because we had to go to the airport, Chris got my number, and I think Troop A too, she was there, and man, we've been a family ever since. And they started firing me, and it'll be a year in May that they had me come aboard on CJEC, and I'm glad to be a part of this family. Y'all don't understand, when y'all sleep, we got signal chats here. I got about 4 of them. Different organizations. We're on the PCT, the Political Change Team. We on Road, as far as Road, Camilla started that one, Reparations over everything. It's different ones that we own. But we don't stop. You know, all what's going down at the legislation down there at the Capitol. We got the Sacramento crew right here, salute. You know what I mean? They don't stop. They up there Monday through Thursday. Chris said, I got to take Fridays off. But they up in them hallways Monday through Thursday, pushing these bills, getting in they butt about what ain't no bill. You know what I mean? And the California Legislative Black Caucus getting back to them on August 31st. They are in them buildings right there. They're in the hallways. You know, we have 140 legislators there. You got 80 assembly members, and then you got 40. No, 80 and 40. No, so 120. 80 and 40. 80 assembly members, and then you got 40 senators up in there. And you have just the black ones who joined the COBC, which is the California Legislative Back Caucus. And they did us wrong August 31st. I think a lot of y'all know, my customers, y'all know how mad I was when I went up there and we did a turnaround, and they shut the door on us, on our big bills, the 1403, which is the American Freedom Affairs Agency, the SB 1403. Salute to Senator Bradford too. He did a tremendous job. He was a part of the California Reparations Task Force, and that's the sweatshirt you guys always see here. That was the, let me turn it back for me, Carolyn. The back of that sweatshirt right there, right behind you. Now this is what CJEC started. It started a study for reparations. And we came up with an 1,100-page final report. And it's on our website. You can go to cjec-official.org and you can see the 1,100-page final report of what they came up with for 2 years. And so then when you come out of there, you get away from the task force, you will see who the only ones who were true in that task force. It was what was 8 of them?
8.
Is it
9 total?
9 total. But the only true ones that I see, that's Camilla, Madam Chair Camilla Moore, and you got Senator Bradford. They're the only ones who stayed true to really helping us about getting what is owed to us. Y'all heard about 40 acres in the mule, right?
Yes.
We went up to 60 acres and 2 mules, you know what I mean? And as far as you guys got to understand, California is the 4th richest economy in the world. And they always talk about budget and deficit. We ain't got no part of that. We ain't the ones who writing the checkbook messed up, you know what I mean? We ain't the one that talking about we gonna do this budget here, whatever. No. Get back and pay us. You pay us, then we'll be, matter of fact, the money that you got is from us. If you guys didn't know, California was a slave state. In Coloma, California, the gold mines, and we helped build the railroads for free. We had 4 economists that testified in the task force meetings, and they said that California stole $800 billion from us. About $1 trillion that they owe us. So I don't want to hear nothing about we ain't got it, you know, whatever. Hey, what's up, Des? I'm glad you came. Better late than never. Yes, sir. Another one of my long-time customers right here, old brother Des. Good to see you. And let's give him a round of applause. He just got engaged. Let's give my man a round of applause. Yes. And I ran into his fiance at Chase Bank, and she said, you know, wait, Desmond. I never knew him as Desmond. I'm like, no. Did she show me a picture? I said, that's Des. I said, yeah, that's him. But yeah, salute to my king right here. He's doing a great job as a young man. Fight, you know, he loves to fight for everything that is right. He always keep a job. And the man is doing what he's supposed to be doing, so salute to you, King. But getting back to what we was talking about here about the California Legislative Back Caucus. This is what they're doing to us right now. They're coming out with a bill that is basically written by Governor Newsom. Like I said, our 1403 was the American Freedom Affairs to establish an agency. Because if we don't have an agency, we can't do nothing. So that Wednesday before August 31st, they passed the SB 1050. Which was the eminent domain bill about the stolen property like in Bruce Beach. But we can't do nothing. He vetoed it because he stopped the 1403 was the power bill, and then the 1331 was the money bill. So Governor Newsom know what he's doing. So now he has the COBC members coming up with the SB 437. Is that 437?
Yes,
sir.
It's trash. It's a poison pill. The SB 518, trash, a poison pill. It's talking about do a study about genealogy. And we got a genealogist here. I'm going to let him briefly let you know something about genealogy and that we don't need no more study of doing a study, of how to study. So therefore, on that note, Brother Jerry, can you come and take the microphone?
All right.
Oh, let me tell you how I met Brother Jerry. I met him in a task force meeting in San Diego. I still got the picture. My man, it was a Sunday because Saturday I had to come back and work. Sunday I knew he was there, so I stayed. So I was the first speaker as always, and then he was about the 8th speaker. My man said, anybody here need a test ancestry DNA test. I raised my hand. He turned to his left and gave it to me, and I got that picture right there. This man turned out to be my cousin. When we did the test, he turned out to be my cousin. And so me and him, bi-weekly on the first and third Sundays of every month, me and him do a genealogy Zoom. And I do the reparations part, and he do the genealogy part. So give a welcome applause to my brother.
Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
It's an honor being here up in Temecula with Double R and all the concerned citizens. My name is Jerry Moss, Sr. I am originally from Omaha, Nebraska, and I came out to California in 1979. My friend Johnny Rogers won the Heisman Trophy. He's a homeboy, and I came out with him. Now, he was a professional in football, but I was a professional in engineering. My trade is civil engineering. I'm a civil engineering designer, drafter, and my background is in civil engineering. Now, I use that engineering with my DNA research. I have a question for you. How many of you can name your 4 grandparents? How many of you can name your 4 grandparents?
Oh. Yeah.
How many of you have taken a DNA test? How many want to? Let me see your hands.
We got 3, huh?
Please show me your hands again. Count them. Would you count them for me?
I see 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right.
You brought enough tests?
I brought 6 tests. What?
Yes, sir. God bless you, brother.
And I'm going to donate them to you.
Thank you.
God bless.
And I'm also going to provide the service, the background to help you with your research. I will be your mentor. And that is, the value is, reparation has its place. What does it mean to find your family, to find relatives that you've never known?
It means everything.
It means the world. And that's what we do, and we have different tools that we use to do that. And in this process, I have a genealogy research group, and we meet bi-monthlies, the first and the third Sunday. And it's just people like ourselves getting together, family members. We match on sharing matches on DNA, and sometimes we don't match, and we just join in to help each other find our families. Some of the tools that we use, some individuals they haven't paid for the subscriptions. They haven't paid for the tools, and they don't have the experience that we have. And so, what good does it mean to learn something and don't share it? My ancestors, your ancestors, they were traumatized. And we don't know who our relatives are to this day. The folks, they had reconstruction, it was like about 14 years. After the Civil War, they were able to reconstruct their family. Do you know, with DNA, we are still reconstructing our family. That's the tool that we use to reconstruct our family. And not only do we reconstruct them, now we get a chance to see them. We get to see the pictures. We get to see their stories. We see where they live. We discover that. And quite frankly, when you live together families, they die together. And so we know where their cemeteries are. And a lot of records are in the cemeteries. I'll say this, as I stroke my golden crown.
Wisdom.
We all have a reservation to the cemetery without a cancellation. We can't cancel that one. That being said, what are you gonna do now? My life, I address it immediately. What can I do immediately? Because people procrastinate, they put it off tomorrow, next week. So the main thing that I want to share with you today is join groups. My group is available. I have literature. After the meeting, I have paperwork I want to share with you, and I'll give you some examples. A double R.
Yes, sir.
How am I doing on time?
Go ahead, man. Hey, do your thing.
One of them, the first one, it gives the agenda for the meetings. So we have the meetings, and we will, on our meetings, we make presentations on Find the Grave. We look at JED Match. That's a program that the Golden State Killer was found on the JED Match. 15 years after, they found his cousin, and they triangulated and it came down to the Golden State Killer. And double R,
Yes,
did you
sir.
say he was a police officer?
He was a police officer. Yes, he was.
DNA.
Heidi.
The truth can't be hidden. I will share this with you also. God is the source. We are the messengers. I have had to inform, ask, and reveal information that was so sensitive that people don't want to hear it. I had grandnieces that matched me on Ancestry, and they were, abortion, the adoption, they give their clients just a little bit of information. And they gave this young lady some information about the Mosses, who we are, tall, dark, you can figure out the other one. But anyway, what I did is, when she gave me the information, I said, look, young lady, you're gonna have to go back and talk to your mother and get me a little more information. Because I'm not gonna go and talk to my brothers, because her numbers, her DNA matches, they didn't match me, but they darn sure matched one of my siblings. And I said, before I do that, please go back and get more information. The young lady went back, got more information, found out that it was my sister's son's daughter. So you don't always look for the men, it's the women too. DNA, it goes everywhere. It goes, the men and the women, you are tracked through DNA, your DNA. And it's half on your father's side and half on your mother's side. And this journey, when we were in COVID, it's a blessing we survived COVID. I was able to sit in my office and conduct my DNA research. And from there, I was able to reconstruct families, help other people find their families. And in conclusion, I just want you to know, if you have any questions for me afterwards, I am available. And it's an honor to be here. See, we have to, if people in who have been blessed with what I know, I can't sit at home. I have to go. I have to go where the people are. And so, with that, that's why I'm here. And any questions you have, and you're welcome to join any of our meetings. As a matter of fact, that's where I met Reggie.
Oh, you got the picture on right there. That's me with the hat turned back.
Oh, yeah, son.
That's at San Diego State, January 23rd, 2003. Reparations Task Force meeting, part 1. And I had a kid, and I asked those questions, and then he raised his hand. He was close to me, and I gave him a kid. And I managed his kid. So that's what we need to do, is help each other. So with that, I want to leave you with these words. You are responsible for your destiny. No one else. I yield black.
Black power, all right, segment, all right. Come on, man. Come on, cousin. But not only that about the DNA, about finding your relatives. When I first got my results back, I cried like a baby.
Yeah.
Because I found out who I was. I got 15 different nations in me. And so I finally, people from France are French, Nigerians from Nigeria, Chinese from China. We are the most beautiful colored rainbow people on this earth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think this is what God is going to do at the end of the day. Everybody going to come together, so there ain't going to be no. We going to be, I'm I got all that in me, and a Latino. Okay, next we're going to have, let's have Carolyn and Raphael. Let's give them a round of applause. This is our CJ queens right here.
Thank you so much. I am so very happy to be here today. Hi, Mrs. Double R. Is your wife here?
No.
Who you say?
She look like my wife.
Sorry.
No, that's his wife.
Oh, sorry. Anyway. Really glad to be here. I know that you have heard a lot of different things this afternoon, a lot of different numbers flying around. And so hopefully after we finish, this will make sense to you. And not only that, I have a QR code that you can scan with your phone, and then you'll be able to keep up with all the happenings that we do at CJEC. And so I met CJEC when they just popped up on my Twitter, and I started following them, and I started sharing their information. Definitely was already a reparationist, so it was really awesome to be able to see people, black people, doing something about our reparations. And so I followed them, and then on August 31st or August 31st, everyone went to the Capitol. I didn't go. I have been to the Capitol several times, and I know that it was going to go into the night. So I did not go, but I did watch the live streams and everything that was happening that night. And then go back maybe 2-3 months prior, when the session first started, I told Chris Loxton, our lead organizer, that what I'm seeing is the bills are flying through smoothly. They're flying through the process smoothly. I've done this before. I've seen how it happens. Working on the healthcare, affordable healthcare bill. Worked on that. I saw how that went through the process. So I said, you know, get ready to cry, get ready to celebrate, because you're going to have a reparations bill. As the night went on and got later, I saw that people were angry. And this was not supposed to be. The bill had been voted on all session, do pass, and I'm talking about SB 1403, which is Senator Bradford's bill.
Mr. Paul.
It was due pass, come on through. It's okay, we're all
I think
Yeah,
it's
in an
better.
intimate setting.
We all family, we all family.
Excuse me.
So I was pretty horrified what was going on. And then I saw one of the assembly persons, Isaac Bryan. I saw him, I know you've heard his name before.
Traeger.
And I worked with him before. I worked with him on a lot of formerly incarcerated bills, you know, expunging records and getting people back on track into their lives and everything like that. And I saw how he handled that. He handled it with poise and grace. He included everyone in the process. We were always at his office, or we just knew that he was going to do it for us. I wasn't at his office. He's not my assembly person, but I followed his career, and I followed what he was doing. So when we saw him come to the forefront and stop Bill Esseley, who was a Republican, who saw that we were being betrayed, when he came forward and tried to stop him from putting the bill on the floor to just even get a vote, to even have a chance, we didn't know what was going on. We weren't advised of this, and we had worked very closely with this bill, so we should have been advised. So I found out later, to make this long story short, I found out later that they took a secret vote, the Black Caucus did. They took a secret vote and said that they were going to not bring SB 1403 up for a vote, and so it would never make the governor's desk. I don't know about the other things that happened. I don't know about Governor Newsom. But what I do know out of the mouth of Isaac Bryan was that they had a vote, and he said that he did not vote for the bill. He said he did not vote for the bill to be killed, but he was the most out front physical, standing in the way physically to make sure that that bill did not get on the floor for a vote. It makes me sick to my stomach. It hurts me very much that someone who portrays himself as a advocate for Black American freedmen families would do something like that. That was disgusting. So fast forward, we're trying to be democratic. We're trying everything that we are supposed to do to make sure that we get a good bill. And so we haven't stopped. We have not stopped. Yes, we were betrayed on August 31st, but January 7th, we came right back. First of the year, we came right back and said that we were going to talk to every senator and every assembly person at the Capitol, which we did. Except for the Black Caucus. They ran from us. They hid from us. They said that we didn't have a meeting with them. Another telling, disturbing activity. And so after that, we gathered ourselves, and now we have bills. And I'm going to talk about AB 1315, which is the reparations bill that Bill Esseley authored for us. He said, this is not right. Double R happened to talk to him because he felt like this guy could help us. Lo and behold, he helped us. And he wrote an excellent bill, AB 1315. It mirrored SB 1403, which was Stephen Bradford's bill. Not only that, the text of the bill is in such great language that everyone can understand what it stands for. It is a clean and clear reparations bill that will house an agency and also a genealogy department. No study, just get to work, identify who we are, allow people to start being identified for reparations. And that's what AB 1315 does. And now the other shenanigans going on up at the Capitol is that they won't refer it.
Yep.
They won't refer it to committee. So here again, these same people are stalling bills that are going to help us. And we always say, reparations is not Democrat or Republican. This is a Black American freedom family for American families. And so it should not be a problem if a Republican or a Democrat brings up a bill. And what I will do, so that I won't go into all and everything, but it is a nice bill. We will have an agency, we will have a genealogy department, and they won't house our data in the DOJ, which I believe my wonderful Raphael co-worker here, co-volunteer will talk about. And remember, I have information for you to take home that you can scan, so that all of this you can follow from this day forward, from CJ.
Thank you, sir. Just a little bit down. You're the expert. I'll defer
Yes.
to you.
After you.
That's perfect. That's great. That's great for me. Good for you?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Raphael, and I have been with CJEC since about 2020, right when the pandemic was really going. And I have, my husband and I, Joe, we've been to every one of the Reparation Task Force meetings.
Yes.
We just hop in the car and drive up and be there and tell them we drove up from Diamond Bar because this is a priority for us. And we've been active ever since, and I'm really grateful for the space. I'm also with LEAP, the Lineage, Equity, and Advancement Project. So you hear both of those terms interchangeably. I've also have some cards here for you. There's a lot of information being thrown about today. The cards are here at the table for you. You can take that, it's got our website, it's got the QR code that will give you some of these numbers. Please know that we volunteers, this is new to us. I've never done this before. I'm learning as I go, and we throw a lot of numbers at you. It's a little intimidating, it's a little daunting, it is for me, but we can get through this. We are educating each other, we're empowering each other. One of the things that I'm charged with today is to read to you our letters of opposition for some of the bills, because it does make a couple of important points for you.
Hey, wait a minute, let me tell you guys too. She got the award last year. My God, she will put you to sleep. She reads so beautifully. Me and her got an award. I got the one on there, but she got the most perfect reader. That we let her read our Thursdays. We was reading our 1,100 pages. We was like, let Raphael read. She will put you to sleep. So Queen, we salute you for being the best reader of all time.
I appreciate that. I have been a volunteer reader for about 40 years in the school. It's just important to me that our children are educated and they have access to books and seeing us in the classrooms with them. So that's where that comes from. So this is on SB 518, and that SB is for Senate bill. We write to express strong opposition to Senate Bill 518, which seeks to establish a Bureau for Descendants of American Slavery. While the bill's intent may be to facilitate reparative justice, a goal we share as the state's leading and original reparations and reparative justice coalition, it introduces unnecessary implementation delays and raises serious constitutional concerns regarding racial classifications. Firstly, SB 518 will significantly delay the implementation of policies intended to benefit descendants of enslaved persons. As written, the Bureau cannot begin its work until the completion of a genealogy research mandated by SB 437, a separate bill that directs millions of dollars towards unnecessary genealogical research with no start date and no end date to the research. This indefinite timeline creates an open-ended delay, preventing any meaningful progress in establishing eligibility criteria for administering said benefits. Instead of moving forward with definitive and concrete action, SB 518 effectively stalls action until an unspecified future date, leaving impacted communities in limbo. Secondly, the bill employs racial classifications that present serious legal and constitutional risks. Specifically, the bill's definition of, quote, descendant status, end quote, is laden with references to race, Both the California Constitution and the U.S. Constitution uphold principles and protections under the law. By requiring the state to classify individuals based on race, and in light of a recent Supreme Court ruling, SB 518 invites legal challenges that could result in the law being overturned, ultimately undermining the very policies that we seek to implement. Rather than advancing justice, the bill's reliance on racial classification could render the legislation unenforceable and waste valuable state resources with legal battles. We support the goal of directing state support to residents who descend from persons emancipated from chattel slavery in the U.S., also known as American freedmen, and believe the use of long-established legal and political status, not racial classification, of American freedmen, defined as the progeny of those freed from chattel slavery in the United States, is the best and most legally defensible way to describe the communities the bill intends to support. Additionally, SB 518 was drafted without meaningful input from grassroots, California-based organizations, that's us, and leaders who have long been engaged in advocating for reparations and reparative justice. Effectively, policy development requires the inclusion of voices from the communities, that's us, directly impacted by historical injustices. By failing to incorporate the perspectives of we stakeholders in the legislative process, the bill risks implementing top-down solutions that do not fully address the needs, priorities, or the concerns of the people it aims to serve, thereby perpetuating one of the harms that California Reparations Task Force cited as grounds for reparative action, namely political disenfranchisement. Relatedly, another troubling aspect of SB 518 is the unwillingness of its principal author to engage directly with advocates who have raised legitimate concerns about the bill. Despite repeated outreach from community leaders and policy experts, there's been little transparency or willingness to address feedback that could strengthen that legislation. This lack of open dialogue raises serious questions about the bill's legitimacy and whether it truly reflects the needs and interests of the communities it claims to support. A policy of this magnitude demands collaborative engagement, not a closed-door approach. There are other serious concerns with the bill as well, namely the fact that it cedes legislative oversight to the Bureau of the Governor's Office. And my colleague mentioned that. We don't want our information with the DOJ. The lack of explicit language protecting residents from the misuse and abuse of any personally identifiable information collected by the state, including law enforcement, in the process of verifying descendant status. For these reasons, we oppose SB 518, and we respectfully request your no. Before I go on with anything, do either of my colleagues have anything to add to that point?
Oh, well, one thing.
Yes.
They did come up this week at the committee and have a starting year. It's either going to be 2025 or 2026, but they still don't have a finish date. They came up with the starting date, well, supposedly,
Proposed.
but they don't have a finish date. So it can be 10 years, 20 years. So we don't want that.
And also, the Black Caucus members have said that this is a 10-year process. So
Mhm.
they've already
Yeah,
decided
yeah.
that they are going
Kicking the
to
can.
stall for at least
Stall.
10 years.
Right.
And that came out of Senator
Was it Corey Jackson?
McKenna's,
That was McKenna?
Tina McKenna, yes. She's in Inglewood
That's my
District.
district.
Yes.
So here, let's just show her face. so you know.
Yes, her, and she has been the worst Black Caucus member, other than Isaac Bryan, to us.
Yeah.
She has hung up the
Wait.
phone on us while we've been on Zooms. She runs from us, she does not speak to us. She has nothing good to say
Corey too,
about
Corey
us.
Jackson.
Yeah, we have several attempts to try to meet with her multiple occasions in our district. Just denial, denial. And these are the things that which this year we cannot accept any longer. It's gotta be a different movement for our children's sake.
And one more thing.
Thank you.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. One more thing, and that this is gonna take for us to write them, to call them, and even go see them. I believe we're gonna have another trip up to Sacramento. I don't
Yes.
have the date yet, but I do have a QR code that you guys can scan. Please scan it. So, and I update it constantly for you and for myself, because I gotta keep up too, and for my colleagues and everybody.
And that's a
Not to
lot
tell
of
you-
information for us to
Yeah.
give you. That's why we have these information cards that references the bills, and that's the QR code here as well.
And I forgot to tell you, my name is Carolyn Essex. Sorry about that.
So before I continue, and thank you to my colleagues, are there any questions from the audience before I go on? Okay, I'm gonna get to the next
Yes,
part.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The last meeting, they brought in the students from UCLA.
Yes.
And that, in the Senate, it passed. What was it that passed, the sister?
I'm sorry.
What passed in the Senate just a week or so ago, when UCLA and everybody was here, at the Senate?
That was in committee, so that would have been SB 437. So that is the that is the study bill.
And that's what I'm gonna read for you
Yeah.
right now.
The SB 437 is the study bill that is attached to the reparations bill, and that will stop if they, like you said, that doesn't have an end date.
And I hope that this, let me read this for you, and this may answer that question for you. So this is Senate Bill 437. We write to express strong opposition to SB 437. The provisions of the bill are misaligned with the recommendations of the California Reparations Task Force. Furthermore, the proposal is unnecessary, redundant, raises serious risk of fiscal waste, would create crippling and cascading implementation delays, and was already rejected by community advocates. The proposal is unnecessary. Tracing ancestry to U.S. chattel slavery is already a known practice. It's conducted by genealogists literally every single day. Therefore, there is no need for further research into the genealogy process. What California residents whose ancestors were emancipated from U.S. chattel slavery need are genealogy services, meaning genealogists to sit with them and help them trace their ancestry, not a multi-million-dollar, indefinite genealogy research project conducted by the CSUs. The California Reparations Task Force recognized this, and that is why the task force recommended that the state subsidize genealogy services while completely rejecting attempts to delay reparations with further research. The proposal would create severe implementation delays. No other policy or legislative initiatives targeting residents who are descendants of people emancipated from U.S. chattel slavery can be implemented until the proposed genealogy research is completed. The proposal would waste millions of taxpayer dollars. California legislators and Governor Newsom approved funding for reparations implementation in the 23 and 24 budget. The current proposal misdirects at least $6 million of that funding away from the implementing reparations and instead toward a genealogy research project with no end date to the research. This same proposal was already rejected by community advocates. Last year, Governor Newsom's office proposed a nearly carbon copy of what is now SB 437 as amendments to Senator Bradford's SB 1403. That proposal was rejected. In short, Senator Weber Pearson is not the author of SB 437. The governor's office is the true author of that proposal. Lastly, the proposal is redundant. It conflicts with another one of Senator Weber Pearson's proposals, namely SB 518, a bill that would also create a process for conducting genealogy. The existence of multiple conflicting efforts creates unnecessary confusion, redundancy, and inefficiency. And for those reasons, we strongly urge a no vote on SB 437. I hope that addressed some of your concerns there. sir.
Poison pills, you guys, poison pills.
So those are some of the opposition letters that we have. And Carol will go into 13, 15, and the support that we asked for. Would you like to do that? Sure. Okay, I'll step out.
Excuse me,
Yes,
I want to
Oh,
follow
yeah,
up. on-
question.
A follow-up.
yes, sir.
We know these representatives. Sister Weber,
San Diego.
her and her mother, they're gonna be on the front line of whatever is passed, in some shape or fashion. And these colleges are gonna be involved. So it's important for us to get out in front and connect with these colleges. I've done reach out genealogy sessions in libraries, and a lot of the people who came in were professors. And let me tell you this about them, they only work from 8 to 5. Don't try to set something up
On the clock.
at 6:30.
They on the clock.
And the libraries, the public libraries, the health and social services centers, my message is this. And when we were in San Diego State, the professors are there. These are the ones that these legislatures who don't have the experience, they're relying on these professors.
Makes sense.
So we have to align with them. We have to build a rapport with them. Either way, they're gonna have to go through us, but we're gonna have to work with them.
Yeah, we have professors that are actually working, like you said, with the.
Got your phone, Jerry.
Working with the legislators. Dr. Grills is working with them. They're placing the study bill. They want to place the study bill under the Cal State University network.
Correct.
And I believe that they didn't do it at Loyola Marymount, which they usually do, is because Dr. Grills is there and they're trying to cover their tracks. But she is definitely, I believe she is definitely conversating with them about doing that, because they lost the lineage argument back in when we had the task force. So because they lost that argument that we were lineage-based, experience-based, and not race-based, I believe they're attempting to go around that and use the colleges and universities to study the bills.
I just want to follow up, we're in this to win it.
And that's flesh and blood does not reveal, let's put it that way.
My take on that is this. Those states, Akilah Weber, she said one of the reasons why she's dealing with the state colleges is they need to have an umbrella, official government agency, and that's from the task force. The task was to find where they can get an agency that's not duplicating the services. And so what they're doing in this case is coming under the umbrella of the state, state colleges, and that's what they're using. That's similar to, like, I'll take you back, the Freedmen's Bureau. The Freedmen's Bureau was run by the Army. They had teeth. They could make things happen. And so this is, and we study the Freedmen's Bureau, and this is what they're patterning this after to a certain degree. You need a government agency who can provide this genealogy, provide the evaluation, so we can submit our information to them. I don't want to get political because I concentrate on the genealogy.
Right.
But you better know them both.
I agree. So let's be clear, a lot of these things are, just by watching what's going on. Okay, so.
Real quick. Just Brother Moye, real quick.
Yeah, go
Let's have Brother Moye introduce herself and go through.
Yes,
Go to
please.
Carol.
Wait, she's about to go deep. So just real quick about the start of, and this is ETM Media right here. He always, if you guys look at the YouTube, they cover a lot for us. He's always in the house at the Capitol, and he's like him today. He came from Sacramento, went to LA, and he's here in IE. So let's give a Brother Moye a hand of applause.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. As a matter of fact, I have my badge here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass it around. On here is a barcode. Unfortunately, I've been shooting all weekend here in Los Angeles for our second documentary. But please scan this right now. No excuses. I expect, how many people here? Red? 15 people? I expect that, I know we got a couple subscribers on our channel. So if you got your phones here.
21.
Please, 21?
22, I'm sorry.
So please scan it, should be. All right, family, once again, thank you, Reggie, for having and hosting us. Really appreciate you right here in Temecula. Once again, my name is Umoya. You pronounce it Umoya, and it's spelled U-U-M-O-I-Y-A, last name is Glass. All right, so I'm gonna take you back a little bit. Chris Lodgson, who unfortunately isn't here now, I think he has some car issues, but he's actually the lead. Is that correct, Reg? He has some car issues?
Yes, says disabled.
All right, so I met Chris back in 2018. All right, I was literally at that time riding my bike to his place, and he was like 3 or 4 miles. Okay, when we were talking about reparations, at his spot on his couch. So I've been doing this for a very long time. As a matter of fact, I wrote a paper on reparations when I was in college. I'm not going to say how long ago, because that would date my age. And my teacher specifically told me, she said, why are you writing that paper on reparations? You know it will never happen. She told me that to my face. Now this lady just happened to be white. She could have been anything. She could have been a sister. She could have been Latino. I don't know. I'm just saying she just happened to be white. That day, I said, I want to make it my mission, my life, my skills that I have, to make sure that my people, American freedmen, get our justice that's due, period. So I'm going to start with that. AB 3121. It was signed in 2020, at that time, by, she became the Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley Weber, okay? So she signed, I'm sorry, say something.
I said, all right for Shirley. She was a professor at San Diego State when I was there.
Okay, thank you for that.
Got San Diego in the house.
All
San Diego in the building.
San Diego in the house.
So once she got that signed, we decided, well, look, we're going to have to kind of get involved and massage this a little bit, because the language, I mean, it was kind of there, but it wasn't specific, and so we needed specificity. So we had a couple of members of our CJET family, we were called something a little different at the time, but they literally went in and wrote the language that's in AB 3121. So when we say we've been grassroots, we've been doing this, we've literally been doing this. The Coalition for a Just and Equitable California is as my friend and compadre Chris Lodgson would say, we are the #1 lineage-based reparations in California.
In the nation.
And I would argue, thank you, Dr. Truth Bay, that we are the #1 in the nation as well, undisputed. So I just wanted to give you a quick history on that. Now the reason why I'm down here in LA is because of August 31st, 2024. As Carolyn mentioned, all right, so there was a bill that was supposed to go up, as Reggie mentioned. It was the fund, that's 1331, okay? That didn't get passed. We also had SB 1403, which was supposed to be the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency. Once again, that was authored by Senator Stephen Bradford. And as Carolyn mentioned, and I'm going to use my words very carefully, but straight to the point, the CLBC blocked those bills. They literally blocked them. So what we do on Emend the Mass Media Group, Carolyn mentioned about she saw it on the streaming. We try to provide a service to our community, because if people can't actually make it to the hearings, then we want our people to watch it, because everybody here has to know what's going on. We can no longer be ignorant of the political process. There is no excuse. I don't understand how our young kids today, all right, they got all this internet. They're up here watching, I don't even know, right? But the mere fact that our kids And even us as, adults, I mean, we should know about the political education process. We should have known this. I mean, I'm supposedly college. I had no idea about political science until they started with this reparations. So I just want to thank everybody for coming. I'm just going to let everybody else kind of come up. I know we have some Q&A that we want to do as well. But please, once again, I try to be more about action than speaking. Actually, I'm usually behind the camera and I'm not in front, even though, I don't know, I can speak a little bit. But I just want to thank everybody for coming and coming out, because you guys could have done anything else. You guys could have been anywhere, but you're right here getting this knowledge. And most importantly, let's take some actions. So before we go, I usually let my friend Reggie say this, but since I'm up here and I usually don't have a lot of chance to do it, I feel like I got to do it. So let's do it here. When I say reparations, you say now. Reparations? Now! Reparations? Now! When I say cut the, you say check. Cut the check. Cut the check. All right, thank you.
Hey, another one. What do we need? Reparations. When do we need it? Now. Come on now. What do we need? Reparations. When do we need it? Now. I yield. Black power every second of the hour.